In December of 2012, a 23-year-old woman in New Delhi was gang raped and she was killed as a result of that. She was beaten up so brutally that she didn't survive her injuries. Well, after that happened, India decided that they are going to be much more strict and harsh when it comes to prosecuting and convicting rapists. Well, numbers have come in and they indicate that nothing has really changed when it comes to India. There have been more prosecutions, but certainly not more convictions. So if you look at the specific numbers, there were 706 recorded cases of rape. However, there was only one conviction.
That's amazing, man. That was in Delhi in 2012. And for 1 out of 706 is depressing. Mm-hmm. And so a couple of things happen. The more cases there are, the harder it is for people to have, and they say this, they say they have resource issues to get convictions, right? But then people think, well, there's no consequences. There's almost never a conviction, so then that might lead to even more rape.
It does. I mean, it does. It sends a message. If it's extremely difficult to convict someone of rape, then rapists are going to continue raping more and more women, and you'll have more and more cases. And if you don't have the resources to actually prosecute and convict these people, it's a vicious cycle. It'll continue on. Now, the number of reported rapes in Delhi has nearly doubled in the past year. And the reason why that happened is because after this brutal gang rape happened to this 23-year-old, a lot of women who had been victims of rape decided to come forward and report it. But again, unfortunately, a lot of these cases were not either prosecuted, or if they were prosecuted, it never led to a conviction. The case would be dropped before the man would even stand trial.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. It's been going on for a while. If you go back 2 years, back in 2011, there were 635 cases reported to the police in Delhi, and only one conviction that year as well. So, look, there is an answer to this, which is more resources. I mean, if you're the government of Delhi or the government of India overall, you've got a huge issue on your hands. You've got to protect your citizens. That's your core job as the government.
Absolutely, to protect the people that live in your country. And I think that if the politicians in India are genuine and sincere about wanting to protect women, and if they were genuine and sincere in their outrage after that gang rape, they will allocate the resources necessary to make sure that these prosecutions go forward. But they haven't done that. They haven't done that. Instead, they're focusing on whether or not they should, criminalize gay people.
Yeah, that's another issue in India today. And so, look, if I was in charge of that area, it's easy to say, and I'm sure that readjusting budgets is not an easy thing to do. There's a ton of bureaucracy, there's entrenched interests, et cetera, et cetera. But you've got to readjust them. It's not optional at this point, because you're saying it's open season on women here when only you get one conviction out of over 700 cases. And you can't say that. You can't do that. I mean, it's an issue. And by the way, if you can't convict on that crime, which is literally among the worst crimes there is, right? On what crimes can you convict? Well, then it's open season on everything. And by the way, if it turns out you can convict and you do have a good conviction rate on other crimes, well, then that goes to show you that you don't prioritize rape and getting convictions there. If you're not convicting on anything, my God, you got to put resources into police and a prosecution. So otherwise, you're opening up a Pandora's box that's very hard to close.